Yes, Wi-Fi is off. Extend our selfie stick out. Alright, hey YouTube. Special hello to anybody who is watching from my singles ward. Hello everyone. In this Let's Talk, I wanted to talk about how love goes beyond physical appearances. And this is something that I've known for a very long time. Not necessarily like conscious, but I've known it. And I've believed it. I've lived it. But it's one of those things that just not really on in the front of your mind. Trying to put some gloves on here. Here we go. Not really in the front of your mind. Not really thinking about it all the time. Here we go. And kind of start off by telling a story that will illustrate this. So, that's what I'm thinking of. I almost want to say it's more subconscious, but not really, because it's also, well, I guess subconscious can be determined by like how you were raised and what values you were raised with. So, there we go. About 5 years ago, we wind the clock 5 years ago, and one of my friends, this is the person that I ended up dating, this was Carrie, so she had recently broken up with another friend. I'm not going to name him, and it wasn't as bad for them as I kind of took it. You know, if you've seen my Let's Talk on relationships and when she broke up with me. And I'm not going to cover a lot of that stuff in there, but she had recently broken up with this friend, and it was okay for them. It worked out. They're still friends too. And then she had kind of asked him about me. And at this point, I talked with her once. I didn't really know her, you know. But then a little bit later on in our relationship, I remembered the first time that I really noticed her was, so there was, I think it was Break the Fast. Yeah, it was definitely Break the Fast in the singles ward. That's a thing that we do every Fast Sunday, where, you know, we get together to break our LDS fast, and we have food. So, I had made a cake, and I did my usual cake strategy that is pretty much, you know, like, you see a nice looking chocolate cake with just chocolate frosting on the top, and you're like, ooh, that looks good, but I'm also trying to be healthy and not like super fat, and so I'm not gonna have some. I did the method where you just dive in, you definitely want some, and that is that you put a bunch of candy on the outside of your cake, and you make it look so fun and attractive and exciting that most people can't resist diving in and having a slice. You know, you feel like a kid again. Oh, that looks so fun. At least that's my philosophy behind it. And I kind of mentioned that, and she said, yeah, that actually kind of sort of works. I'll have a slice. That's like the first time that I remember like really meeting her, but didn't really pay attention to her. We spoke once or twice. Wouldn't really consider us a friend, more of an acquaintance. Didn't even know her name. But I very quickly got to know her because she was kind of sort of interested in me. Might not be able to wear this glove. So yeah, she was interested in me, and my friend said that I was nice. And I found this out in a bit, explain why. So my friend said that I was nice, and then it started when, I forget exactly what it was, but think she was working on like a song or something, and she needed my help with a computer thing, making like a flyer on her computer. And so I agreed to go over and help her make this flyer. Assumed she had other stuff to do, maybe there were busy things, and I was kind of sort of heading on my way, go back and work on some of my own projects. Namely, I was doing some experimentation projects. Namely, I was doing some experimentation for the music videos that we started filming with her, but that we didn't finish because we got busy. But she asked me what else I had, what were my plans for the rest of the day, basically, and I kind of said, not a whole lot, I'm planning to go test for this video and do some stuff, and she asked if she could tag along, and I said sure. And back then I really didn't know a lot about relationships, and my viewpoints were completely different. So for me, it was like, okay, it's totally fine, it's cool. By the way, I'm also private introvert, public extrovert. So when I get home, I like just kind of going off and doing my own thing, being in my room, watching some stuff, doing editing, kind of quiet stuff. When I'm out and about, I'm a little more of an extrovert and interactive with other people. So her tagging along was totally fine, but it wasn't something that I would have thought of myself, And so it was great, and I actually enjoyed having her along. She was able to help me out with a few tests and stuff, and it was fun. I liked it. So then the next day, I forget how, but we ended up meeting again the next day, kind of hang out, do stuff. And we were in my living room, sitting on our couch, and it was a little bit hard for her to say, but then she said that she liked me. And so for me back then, I kind of thought the person who asks is the person who then plans a date or something. And so I thought that she was going to, but she wasn't. And, eventually we found that out. And when we found out, I never said in the way that I thought that's the way it was supposed to be, because I did think that's the way it was supposed to be. Person who initiates is going to be the person who starts something. And maybe not necessarily supposed to be, but I thought that's the way it was most of the time. And if it happened otherwise, then, special case, a little bit different. But it just ended up being where, I just said, I thought you were going to do something, because she said, so aren't you going to ask me on a date? I thought you were going to do something like that. And she's like, oh, no, I'm not. And so I did get together and plan something. And I found out that she was with my one friend, that she liked me. Because, we hadn't told anybody. And there are very few people that have actually known about this. I don't know how many she told, but I didn't really tell anybody because, I don't know. I'm an introvert, I'm a little bit secretive, but also because I didn't know how many people she wanted knowing and what kind of image she wanted out there, Especially with me having a YouTube channel. It wasn't very big back then, and right now it's only at 250 subscribers, maybe a little more. But even then, or Facebook. That was that thing back then too. I didn't know how many people she wanted knowing, so I kind of kept it secret, but, I kind of couldn't hold it. I had to tell somebody. Of course, I think my mom knew, but I told my friend who had recently been with her, and then he mentioned, oh yeah, we were together for a bit, and then she kind of asked me about you. So if you want to see more about that and the good experiences that came from that, you can go check out my Let's Talk on dating relationships, or I forget what I called it. I'll have a link down in the description to that one after this. And I'll probably talk more about this story at some point, but eventually she broke up with me and it was great. But here's the thing that I want to get at. And I'm not trying to be mean at all by saying this. Once you hear the whole thing, you'll realize actually how beautiful this is. But let's think for a moment, kind of go onto the side of what I like in a girl, which I don't usually go that direction. It's kind of, there's the thing, don't objectify women, which, I mean, everyone's going to have some preferences about what they like in the other sex. Some of them are mental, some of them are physical. There are a lot of different things out there, and it's not bad to have some of those opinions as long as they're not our main goal. Going after a woman only because of her size, that's objectification, that's completely wrong. No. But making it one of the goals is important. But it's also very important to realize that it's not just about that. It's not just about the physical appearance. Sometimes you might not necessarily be physically attracted to them, but things work out in other ways. Although, I think it might have been the bishop's wife that said something along the lines of, that's not like super important, but it kind of is. If you're not, you might want to consider something else. Someone else. But, so it's kind of important, but it's kind of not, and it varies from scenario to scenario how important it is. But so here's the thing, I'm going to talk about this deeper at some point. Maybe, pull up some random internet photos or something, but the things that just naturally for me attract me in a woman, these are the things where I glance across the street, some customer in the dollar store, or church or wherever. These are the things where my mind kind of goes, oh, she's cute, which I quickly file that away for nothing. Not really throw it away, but I kind of file it away and don't think about it because I'm going on a mission in 6 months and I'm not really dating right now, or about 6 months. But those properties, short and thin, most of the time short and thin, But that's also because I'm short and thin, so there's that. Blonde, long hair. Let's see, what's one? Oh, no sandals, no bare feet. I mean, I'm not looking down there very often. The ground is not very interesting staring at people's feet. But I prefer not to see anyone's feet. So, those are just some very basic, simple things. Oh, also another one that I don't know how often this comes up. We'll discuss this later, but makeup. I'm not a huge fan of lots of makeup. But so here's the thing. There's some basic things that just kind of get me interested. That, I look across the street. Oh, she's kind of cute. The things that get me interested in that way. My friend, because we're still friends, she was absolutely none of those. And I wasn't paying attention to them back then. And even now, I don't really make that the forefront of my mind. It's just kind of one of those things where it just happens. Just, there you go. You just thought that she was cute. Uncontrollable, which it's not wrong. Nobody feel bad about this. It's only wrong if you act on it, if you go really far and go down the wrong side. It's not going too far if you're still single and they're still single. But and you just want to date. But she didn't check any of the physical appearance boxes at all. And she's not super heavy or anything. She's not heavy set at all. She's maybe twice my size. Nothing crazy, nothing weird. But it wasn't there. But yet, I still loved her. It was something that I wasn't thinking about back then, that I didn't notice, but, she said that she liked me, and we went from there and had a relationship for, I don't know, how long was it? 6 months? Maybe it was shorter, I don't know, because, time flies when you're having fun, but then there are a lot of times where I go play a video game, and then I'm like, wow, that was a whole lot of fun, I've probably been here for like 3 hours, I should go do something else productive. Oh, it's only been 30 minutes? Huh, oh well, I'll go do something else. Go work on my projects. So, I don't know. But physical appearance literally went out the window. It was just gone with this relationship because I loved her. And I still do to this day. Not in the dating love relationship way, but as a friend. Just like I love pretty much everybody as a friend. I have yet to find someone that I don't love and respect, because we are all sons and daughters of our Heavenly Father. But love just quietly superseded the looks and the appearance, and things worked out for a little while, and it was cool. And then it's not just about dating relationships. Love supersedes appearances in plenty of other ways too. I mean, you could argue that people with Down syndrome or some other, syndromes, birth defects. Dang it, what was Temple Grandin? Autistic. You could argue that maybe they're not beautiful because of the way that they hold their posture, the way the syndrome has shaped their face. I think sometimes they have a relatively normal face, but it's just kind of the way the syndrome makes them hold their face in a not natural pose, things like that. You could argue that that's not necessarily beautiful, and by social norms and standards, yes, it's not beautiful. You're not going to see them in the latest beautiful fashion model magazine, most likely. If you do, cool. But, I still love people like that. I used to have a renter who had Down syndrome. He was super, super, extremely nice. We'll call him Jay. Jay was his initial. And he lived with his mom, who was very old, so they kind of sort of took care of each other. Eventually, they had to move and go kind of separate places because they couldn't really take care of each other anymore. They both got too frail and old. And John, for having Down syndrome, he was 20 years old, which was actually pretty good for a Down syndrome person. So, but they eventually had to move separate places, and it worked out for John because his mom was always worried about him. And even though he was just outside helping me rake up leaves or whatever in the yard, then you'd always hear, "John, yeah, Mom, get in the house. I'm worried about you." She was a little bit on the overprotective side. So it worked out when they split because he still loved his mom and he still went to visit her, but he was also to be able to go do lots of activities and stuff. And sadly, John's not around anymore, as far as I know, because he was getting really bad to where his face was really wrinkled and thin. He wasn't his usual heavy-set self, which looked good, And last time I saw him was at the dollar store. I've seen him once before at the dollar store. So it did several months, after they moved out and stuff. Then I saw him at my job at the dollar store, and and then I was kind of as they were coming through the line, him and some of his buddies from his special needs group, and they had, their normal, completely healthy person to take care of them, their caretaker, their guide, basically. And, he looked familiar, but I wasn't sure, especially since, Down syndrome people, they kind of end up looking similar. But I just kind of said, hey, I said to the, caretaker, because I also don't know what the state of these people is, how many of them are super interactive and can say hi to you, and how many of them are just kind of in their own little world. I want my gummy bears, kind of a thing. And so I just kind of said, hey, is his name John? She's like, yes, it is. Hey, John, this person knows you. And he looked over, he's like, oh, hey, I know you. Hi, how you doing? And we said hi, and it was great. And the last time that I saw him was I don't know, a couple months after that. They were in the dollar store buying snacks and stuff again, or whatever they wanted, really, maybe a notebook or something. And he was definitely more frail. Even he knew it, because he wasn't his usual happy self. And even that the first time I saw him at the dollar store, he was less happy, but still pretty happy. But this time, it was like, hi, how you doing? It's like, I'm doing good. How about you? I'm okay. And I could tell that he was on his way, and it was sad for me. And I said, well, okay, you have a good day. Or I forget what I said, but I said something to the effect of, have a good day. And the world has lost one very special person that I loved despite his appearance. Excuse me. And he was, excuse me, crying makes me gag. Ugh. But he was super extremely nice. You know, like I'll be over there using the leaf blower to get leaves up, put them into a pile, and then the next step in the process is to turn off the leaf blower, you know, just because it is, because that's just the next thing that you do in cleaning up the yard. So turn off the leaf blower, and then you would hear, you okay? Yeah, I'm okay, John. Oh, good, good, good. So, oh man, super extremely nice person. And Down syndrome people are usually nice and friendly. But yes, the world has lost one very special person. But that's not bad. There are plenty of other special people in the world. And that's one example of love superseding, different defects and imperfections genetically and mentally and whatnot. And I will admit there are times where, sometimes people who have an appearance like that, and they're at the dollar store or wherever, and I kind of turn around and see them like that for the first time, there's every once in a while where it is a little bit startling, It's not every day that you see someone with massive scars on their face or whatever, and it's just kind of the natural instinct, because a lot of times, no thanks to media, some of that stuff, not just that it doesn't look beautiful, but sometimes it can kind of look creepy. It's always in scary movies, how did the monster man get his scars, kind of a thing, That's what makes them spooky, or like the Joker. I'm not going to say how. I only know one of the ways, though. But, ugh. Yeah, so it's... Love just supersedes... love supersedes physical appearances. Or it can. And this is the point where you have to be willing to let it. You have to accept that. This might be a point of compromise. Maybe you don't get all of the boxes checked physically, but that doesn't matter, especially since it's way more important to have the mental boxes checked. Like, I'm not even joking here. That's a super serious thing. I mean, imagine if they checked all of the physical appearances, but they were like super stupid and whatnot, then I don't know. Good luck having a family with that. I mean, it can work. You can help people in certain situations like that. It really depends on the situation, but then also, I can just totally see if they're super stupid, you might end up going down the path of, oh yeah, they're stupid, so I can kind of take advantage of them, which no, don't. But that's the thing. So, yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts. Trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, yeah, I mean, as a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, we're supposed to love everyone and try and spread the gospel to everyone. And that's great and cool. And I recommend that you guys do it too, Just look beyond physical appearances. Find something to like about them. You don't necessarily have to do it with your relationship. There's nothing wrong if someone attracts you physically. You can go too far with that. You can objectify women. Which actually something funny. I forget who posted it, but a Google search should find it. There was a shower thought on Reddit where this one user posted and said, the sentence, "Don't objectify women," has women as the object. So, kind of funny, but at the same time, don't. But if you see a girl and you think she's cute, go ask her out. Find out if she's still single and available. You know, whatever the situation may be. There's nothing wrong with that. But just remember that it's not about the physical appearances, okay? And I can tell you for sure that if my future girlfriend one day puts on a ton of makeup, you know, I'll probably say something about it. It will come up eventually, but it won't be a big, huge deal. Same thing with, you know, sandals or bare feet. If you want to do that, go ahead and do that. It's about more than just that. So, you know, anyways, if I've got experiences about love superseding appearances, you know, let me know in the description, or sorry, not in the description, but let me know in the comments below. Get in touch with me, however, share your thoughts. I like that. Leave a like if you liked. Oh, yeah, one more thing. Another thing about love superseding physical appearances I just realized is you could think about a lot of starving kids in Africa who are like so thin you can see their bones and whatnot and they're hungry. There are plenty of people that have love for them and for those people. And again, you won't see them, especially them, in Amazing Beauty Model magazine, but who cares? That's again another good example of love superseding physical appearances. So yeah, again, like I was saying with the outro, get subscribed if you want to see more stuff like this. Check out the rest of my channel because I do more than just this. It's kind of a variety thing, and I wouldn't want you to subscribe and find that half the stuff I do isn't what you're into. I'll see you guys in whatever's next.